Hello everyone, it is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black, the one and only, here with another exciting live stream. And in this video, I am going to be browsing Reddit. I purposely avoid Reddit pretty much all day so that I can enjoy Reddit with you guys right after going over a vlog. If you guys want to know what I've been up to today, there are two different vlog videos up today. One is a long video where I more or less just summarize a movie I watched, and the other one is a short summary of my day. So if you actually want to know what I did today, check out that summary one. If you want to know more about that movie I saw, check out the long one. So without further ado, let's jump right into this Reddit live stream. I enjoy doing these because I like looking at Reddit together. Seeing what you guys' opinions are on things on Reddit. So real quick, we have an r/askreddit post saying, "What tastes so good you can't believe it's healthy?" So one of the top comments, lemons, yes, I know I'm crazy. I think lemons taste good, but I don't think I've ever had a food where I've been like, this is healthy? This is good as fuck. You know what I mean? What have I ever had anything? Oh, I know. I think I just lied. There were honey buns that we had back in like high school, and they were called like super buns or something like that. And they used to give us super buns in the cafeteria, and the packaging would be like filled with all these vitamins and minerals. Like they claimed that it was like essentially like a superfood that was like really good for you, but that shit was a honey bun. That was just straight up a honey bun. And I used to eat them like all the time, and I'm like, there's no way this can be as good as they would say. Because that packaging would swear to you that if you ate those, you would be Superman for a day. Like they just pushed that it was like really good for you. So that would be my what tastes so good you can't believe it's healthy. Because I actually don't believe those super buns are healthy. They can't be. Impossible. Someone said blueberries and also salmon. Again, yeah, I can't relate to those experiences. The closest I have are the super bun things. Strawberries. People are just naming fruit. That just seems really normal. Do people think fruit should be gross? I guess that would be my question. I don't understand why that's what they would pick. Let's see. Today I learned that one of Russia's deadliest contract killers, Alexander Solenik, was credited with 43 kills. He was killed in 1997 by another contract killer sent by the mob he was working for. Oh shit. Was he too good? When you're so good at your job, your replacement has to be the guy to take you out. You know, that's interesting, because that implies that the person who took him out, his supposed replacement, has not taken his place. He is still the deadliest contract killer from Russia. That's interesting. That's not what I would have guessed. So they have a his/her gaming setup with a Nintendo Switch. And on one they're playing like Breath of the Wild, and one they're playing like old school Zelda. This is like the second Nintendo gaming setup like Reddit post that I've seen in like the last couple of days. We got another r/gaming post. Let's see, I know there's probably nobody that cares but me, but I want to share an achievement that I only just now completed after over 20 years of dreaming about getting all original 151 Pokemon. Oh, congrats. I'm going to hit him up with that upvote. Let's see, and we have the recommended communities. I always like to look at this to see if I actually would like any of these. So r/noisy GIFs are just GIFs that make you think that they make noise. I'm not interested in that. To be toasted, post a picture of yourself in a natural state or in doing, well, now I need to check it out. r/toast me. Why is it that anyone would want to be toasted virtually? To be toasted, post a picture of yourself in a natural state or in doing what you love and receive compliments. Make sure to verify. To toast, try to write the best, most genuine, most heartfelt compliments you can. Go have fun, be kind, and be awesome. That's an interesting pat everyone on the back community. So that's interesting. I don't know. I'm not sure if I've ever been like, I want to be toasted. Nor have I been like, I want to just toast other people. Just give a whole bunch of people a pat on the back. That has like almost 50,000 subscribers. That's very interesting. Oddly satisfying, we looked at a little bit yesterday. I'm still not entirely sure if I want to subscribe to that subreddit. Asshole design. So the concept of asshole design is that if someone makes something that purposely kind of like fucks you over, like that was like the intention of what was made, it's asshole design. If someone makes something and you don't like it, it's kind of shitty, it could have been better, that hits more crappy design. There's like a flow chart. So if you don't like it and it's not bad design, then it's mildly infuriating. If you don't like it and it's bad design and it's not on purpose, then it's crappy design. But if you don't like it, it's bad design, and it is on purpose, then it's asshole design. So that's the way that you tell them apart. Then I don't know what this is. r/kimming, a subreddit dedicated to the fine art of kimming and other examples of bad spacing and typography. So people doing bad spacing? Can we ban fuckering lights already? I bet you thought it was time for another one of Nama Sensei's fucking Japanese lessons. So it's just a lot of weird spaces and things. I imagine that triggers people. I saw a guy at Starbucks today. No iPhone, no tablet, no laptop. He just sat there, drinking coffee like a psychopath. Is the space between drinking coffee? That's a pretty big space. Anal touch. That one... Wait, what? Where's the space supposed to be? Because I imagine they didn't want to say anal. Is it an owl touch? What? I gotta check the comments on this one. I don't know where the space is. I don't know, but it definitely isn't supposed to be anal. It's final! It's final touch. Oh shit, that is horrible. That is actually bad. So I understand the appeal of r/kimming. I don't think I would... Let me like that post. Let me go back. I don't think I would subscribe to the subreddit necessarily. But I do think that post was fire. Let me go back there. See if I can find it. I should. I was just looking at it. Scroll. Anal touch. For toilet paper. You'd almost think that was right. I don't really watch Supergirl. I like Adventures of Superboy, the old show. Supergirl's okay. I'm just not a big fan. It's still trying to push Worm fanfic at me. I don't read Worm. I don't know why I would want to do Worm fanfic. I don't get why were they filming. Oh wait, no, I get why they were filming. I don't really care though. I've never been interested. Still don't understand r/don't dead open inside. A viewer yesterday was like, maybe it's Walking Dead. I don't know, maybe. r/screenshots seems too vague. Not into that enough. So let's see. We got r/memes, which are probably gonna be gross. You, mom, I'm sick. Thermometer, he's sick. Doctor, he's sick. Mom, is he though? I've never had that experience. For me, like growing up, if I was sick, I would just go to school. Yeah, it'd have to be a thing where you like threw up, and normally it would have to be a thing where you threw up at school. I'm pretty sure I've like thrown up before school, and like still ended up going to school in grade school. So it wasn't, you have to be really sick to like miss school when like growing up in my household. So Yu-Gi-Oh! Rewind 2018. That seems like a meme. We got another Today I Learned. So one of the richest women in China was born in extreme poverty in a remote mountain village. She got her wealth by selling her chili sauce, which she originally made from her noodle stand. Really? That's really impressive. Humble beginnings. So this is r/equal attraction. So the idea is you post a picture of yourself, and then someone posts a picture of someone of the opposite gender who is supposedly of equal attraction to you. So this girl looks rather nice. I'm curious to see if she got a reply back, and if so, does the dude look equally attractive? The top comment said, I think you look like Emily Blunt, and also believe her husband is a good match, albeit a little old. And then there was an edit where it says, so maybe this dude. I'm going to click the second post. I want to see the, so maybe this dude. No, I'm not trying to give gold. So maybe this dude. Hit it up. Hey. Took a minute for my screen to respond. And now we wait. And we go back and we look at the girl again. If we can. It looks like it's freezing up on us. Okay, there we go. So now we're going to look back at the girl. It's still freezing up on us. It opened him back. Go. Here we are. I think she's more attractive than him, but not by too much. I don't think it's a deal breaker thing. But I feel like it's not precisely on. I think that's a little off, in my opinion. Let's see. r/would you rather. If you could be temporarily transported to the future, would you rather spend 1 year in 2119 or 1 month in 3019? Holy shit. Okay, so this one is actually a pretty big deal. I feel like either way, you run the risk of dying immediately. One problem about going to the future is that you're vaccinated for like a whole bunch of diseases that already exist, but you could be the carrier of a disease that's not really a problem yet, but it's just killing people in the future. So you go in the future. Wait, no. That's not right. You're vaccinated for past diseases, but you're not vaccinated for future diseases. I was confusing it with traveling back in time for a minute. So you're fine in the present because you're like protected from diseases that used to kill people back in the day. But you're not fine in the future because they have like future vaccinations. They're protected from diseases that you don't even know exist yet. So you pop up in the future and you just like instantly catch a disease that kills you. But most people are fine because they have shots for it. They're just safe. And even if you went to the future and you caught one of those diseases and it didn't immediately kill you, you would go to a hospital and no one would be able to find you on record, or if they did, they'd be like, this person's been dead for 100 years. And then they may not know. I feel like that just puts in so many fucking questions. Mr. 46K said, it's something good to hear that the next man is prospering. In other words, I'm glad for you that you're getting your degrees so you can be something in life. I understand you have a relationship tension, but only time will help. Oh, thank you, Mr. 46K. I really appreciate that. That was a very, very good personal message, and I appreciate it. So I give you 2 thumbs up, solid message. I give you more thumbs, but I don't have more than 2 hands. When it comes to this would you rather question about whether or not I'd rather go to 2119 for 1 year or 3019 for 1 month, I think either one you'd probably die, but it seems... would I rather be gone for a year or a month is the big question. Mr. 46K said, that's coming from someone who can relate. Oh, thank you kindly, Mr. 46K. I appreciate it. Digital handshake, like through the computer. I dig the support. I feel like 100 years from now, you could actually do interesting things. Like if I was 100 years in the future, I think I could see family members who are like descendants of me and like actually like get an understanding of like where the family line went and maybe even learn information about like what happens. Yeah, that actually is a good point. I feel like it's easier in like 2119 for me to learn a good bit of the future, like what happens in my future but their past, and then go back after... oh no, it's a year in 2119. Fuck, I had it backwards. So I spend a whole year in 2119, but I have to survive for that 1 year, which is shitty. I'd have to survive in the future, hopefully not catch a disease, and even if you didn't, you'd be in the future and supposed to be dead. I wonder if I could time capsule me some money. Like, open an account? Yeah, okay. So you open an account now, before you go into 2119. In your account, you like put in like a good chunk of money, and then you're like, I'm not gonna touch this money until like way off into the future, and put it into an account that'll be accessible in the future and have it gain interest. So then in like 2119, you would have gained 100 years of interest on whatever that is and have access to that money for 1 year in the future. so that when you get sent to the future, you mainly have to worry about diseases and shit, but when it comes to money, you should be kind of well off. Depends on the economy and how laws have changed, because society could just be fucked at that point. So you gotta kind of work around it. But I feel like if I set some money aside, let it gain 100 years interest, went into 2119, and then used my 1 year in 2119 to research as much about the present, so 2019, as I could know like who wins all the sports games and like be able to bet essentially what stocks are going to just blow up in 2019. What's the new company that's going to last so long that even in 2119 it's still huge? If you get like all that research done about the future after your 1 year, and really you only need the money that you gain interest on to last you that 1 year. You just put enough in the bank account to say that after 100 years, it'll be enough for me to like live off of for that 1 year in the future. So that's actually not a lot of money at all that you have to put back to save, because you're going to gain 100 years of interest off of it. So yeah, I would go into the future for, and it's a year, it's not a month, but a year in the year 2119, and I'd study the present, and then when I came back, it would then be, oh shit, it's a trick. It's a trick. I figured out what the trick was. Don't research shit about 2019. Because if you research 2019, you're gone for a year, but if you come back in real time, you come back in 2020. Everything you learned about 2019 doesn't fucking matter because you would have missed it by a whole year. So if it's a year in real time, Tangent Bell said again, no notifications. I'm sorry that you didn't get any notifications. Did you get notified on the vlog or the vlog summary? Because we did those earlier. We also had a rap video and an artwork video. So if you missed those, don't worry, they're all on the channel, so you'll be able to check those out. But I go to the year 2119, and I would study the year 2020, but I also would have to study 2019, because I would have been gone for the whole year. That's actually really weird. How much could I do? Before I leave in the year 2019, I would want to set up that bank account, and I would want to leave information behind to be like, hey, I'm going to disappear for like a whole year. I'm just going to like be gone. My scholarship would get fucked, because if I was not here for 2019, I would come back from the year 2119, and my scholarship would be like, you didn't do your government obligation, so you owe us like a ton of money. So then in the year 2020, since I essentially like evaded my obligation for a whole year from being transported to the future, I now have to come back and make that money up. And that so what before was a get rich quick scheme now becomes a I have to cover my own ass because I just missed everything. Tangent Bell said he didn't get a notification for the rap vid either. He said, I would go to the year 1941 for reasons. And then he said, where's Omega? I haven't seen Omega yet. He did tune in to the vlog video, the vlog live stream, but I haven't seen him for this one. But I would have to make more than just enough money to get rich quick. I would have to make enough money to pay back to the government because I would have missed my scholarship obligation, and I would have had to made enough money to also get rich quick. So Tangent Bell said, what are we talking about? So right now I'm looking at r/would you rather, and the question is, if you could be temporarily transported to the future, would you rather spend 1 year in 2119 or 1 month in 3019? Then Mr. 46K said, true. For some odd reason, I thought it was my phone acting up. Guess not. Either way, I'm here. Yeah, I don't know why YouTube, for whatever reason, isn't hitting people up with notifications. What I think is weird, yesterday's Reddit video isn't on the channel. If you go to the channel and you try to just see it in my uploads list, you can't find it. You have to go on YouTube and type in like Reddit Nickabenson Livestream to see yesterday's Reddit stream. Like, you have to search for it, which is crazy. Tangent said, I'm sad that I missed the vlog. Don't be. So, for the vlog video, I spent most of it summarizing a horror movie that I watched with my dad. So I actually made a shorter 3-minute version in case no one wants to watch me summarize a horror movie for half an hour. So let's see. Tangent Bell said 1 year in 2019. The world is screwed way in the future. So 2119, I feel like is the way to go for this one. I explained because I feel like you could actually get a lot more information about the present in 2119 that you could then take back with you. And plus, you could set up a bank account to gain interest over the course of 100 years and use that money to survive for a year in 2119 while you're researching the present. The only personal issue I have with it is that I would miss my government obligation, so I would have to use a lot of the money that I earned based on my future knowledge to try and pay back the government for what I missed. So that's what I'm currently thinking about. Tangent said, everywhere but this comment section has my wildebeest pic. And of course, the Michael Cera is still here anyways. True, it does still show Michael Cera in the live chat. And I don't know why, because you're right, it shows your new profile picture anywhere else. So, yeah, I would definitely pick 2119. I just would need to make sure that I could take the most advantage of it as possible to build up money. I'm curious if there's any way to make this work even better. Tangent said, yeah, that's fair, Jet. Let's check out the comment section. What did other people say for this Would You Rather? Let's see. So the top comment. If when you came back to the exact point you left, I'd go with the year. Otherwise, if the time you spend in the future is how long you were actually gone for your own time, I go with the month. My family and friends would think I was murdered if I went missing for a year. Even a month would make them distraught, but I think a month would be easier to explain than a year. Mr. 46K said I would probably go back in time instead of forward. I feel like I'm more interested in going forward in time out of what advantages you can get out of going forward in time. Tangent said, how far into the stream are we? We're now 21 minutes in. We normally try and do these Reddit streams for about half an hour. This might go a little bit longer, considering the fact that we're getting really into this particular topic. Ooh, on my phone, it shows the wildebeest picture. On the computer, it shows Michael Cera to let you know about your profile pic. Mr. 46K said he'd probably go back to the 1400s. Why the 1400s? Is that like medieval times? Tangent said 1000s I would do cave women, and then he's like, that's a joke. If you went back to like the really early period of man and you like had a kid, the genetic disturbance of that would be wild, because humans now are far different from humans like back in the day. So if you successfully had a kid with like an early human, the kid they had would be a weird combination of like primitive man and like future man. And I don't know how that would go. I feel like that'd be crazy. Let's see. Tangent said, no, I missed most of it. He said, I'll try later also. And then Tangent said, hey, my wildebeest. What was I thinking about? Oh, it was in response to the being gone in real time thing. So I just realized something. So technically, me and Maddie are still married. Now, what's interesting about that is that the marriage isn't really like a divorce, like annulled thing until, well, it's just a divorce, it's not an annulment, until like early January. So if I suddenly got sent to the future for a whole year, I think people would assume I was dead. I could like make a YouTube video and say, oh, I'm going to be sent to the future for a year. Don't think I'm dead. You know, I could like make a video. Who's going to believe that? People are just going to assume I'm dead. And because I died before me and Maddie were officially divorced, I'm curious if the account that I would have set up for my future self would end up being given to Maddie. Because if she took that account, then that would screw me over when I got to 2119. So what I would also need to do is set up like a will, and in my will say, that money doesn't go to that goes to future me in 2119. This is like, I'd have to make sure that it didn't get like tossed away. Tangent said, well, cavemen still inbred, plus some of us are more Neanderthal than others. Then Tangent said, yo, did you like the video, Mr. 46K? And then he's like, everybody liked the video. Thank you for the support. Truly appreciate it. Make sure to like that video. I don't know why I said like that video. Make sure to smash that like button if you'd be down to do so. Tangent said it probably would be hers. Since I'm thinking about it ahead of time, I would tell her, like, hey, don't mess with that money. I'm not actually going to be dead. I'm going to be back in a year. And then I would also write out that will and make sure it was like a legal document so that she couldn't access that money, so that no one could access it. I don't want my parents to take it or anything, because when I get to 2119, I don't want to get fucked over. Mr. 46K said, well, I would still have advantage if I went back in time because I would use the knowledge I have now. True. True. Tangent said flashback, more Neanderthal than others. Hint, hint. And then he said Jake Paul, hint, hint. Throwing shade at Jake Paul. I was surprised. I didn't see that coming. But you're right. You do have an advantage in the past with future knowledge. My big thing is that I don't know how much I could actually do with future knowledge if you send me back in time. Especially since I feel like I'm at a disadvantage back in time because society was just really different depending on where I am. I live in the South in the United States of America. Most times before the 1960s for me are like not very good here. They're not very good here at all. So let's say I come here in like the early 70s or 80s or something like that. Well, now I'm playing a dangerous game. I'm playing like Back to the Future because that's around the time where like my parents were kids. And I don't want to be back then. What advantage would I have of being back in time? A lot of the crazy innovations of our time have to do with like technology. What am I going to do? Build a computer? You know, like I know like programming knowledge for programming languages that didn't even exist back then. But that doesn't mean I can like recreate it. You know, I just feel like I wouldn't be able to do much back in time. But in the future, if I come back to the past, I can do like a ton of shit because of the fact that I just need to be able to bet on stuff. Also, I don't know enough history knowledge. Maybe if I went back in time, but before I did, I researched a bunch of stuff so I could like bet on sports games, similar thing. Yeah, fuck it. You got a good point. If they had the same would you rather, but you got sent to 1919, so 100 years in the past for 1 year, before I got sent, I would just research like who won all the sport games in like 1919, and I'd like try and like gamble and make money, but I'd probably die because I probably wouldn't fit in old school society. Plus, I wouldn't have any money saved up. That's part of the advantage of going to the future for a year, is that you can set up money that'll accumulate and then you'll eventually receive it. By going to the past, you just don't get that like support. You just kind of get fucked over. Let's see. Tangent said, imagine being a year in the past after seeing YouTube Rewind in 2018. Then he said, I'm also from the South. And then Tangent said, a gay dude invented the computer, team up with him, invest in Apple, etc. My brother's teachers invested and took it off 1 month before they skyrocketed. You should go back in time and tell your teacher not to fuck up on the on the taking the stock out right before the Apple computer shot off. Because that seems like that would have worked out really well for your teacher. Mr. 46K said, does Texas count as the South? Because I live in Texas. Texas is definitely the South, my friend. Tangent said, yeah, it does. He says he also lives in Texas. What are the odds? Mr. 46K said he lives in El Paso, Texas. Tangent said, bring $100 to the past. Ah, fuck. You said bring $100 to the past is worth more than. So the issue of bringing current money to the past is that current money in the past doesn't work the same way. You'll show it to them and they'll be like, this isn't a real $100 bill. Because the way that money looks is different over time. If you hand anyone a dollar bill 100 years ago, it's going to not look anything like how dollar bills look then. So that's why it would be nice to get like old currency or currency that looks about the same throughout time. But 100 years difference? I don't know about that. That may not be like a real option at that point. 100 years is just a long time for anybody. Tangent says he should tell his teacher that. Let's see what the next comment was. So someone said month in 3019. I want to know how advanced we become, or what post-nuclear war world looks like. I feel like if you go that far in the future, 1,000 years, you're just gonna die. You're just gonna die. I feel like the disease thing is more likely in 1,000 years to occur than in 100 years, where you just show up and everyone's vaccinated for this terrible disease, but you're not, and you just like croak. But also in 3019, language could be different. You could just be trying to talk to people, and slang could be so thick that you have no idea what's happening. Think about like how we gain more and more slang words every year or so that become part of common vernacular. And how slang words on occasion, even things like LOL that are like shortenings that you put in text messages, are now like in dictionaries. So imagine those terms piling up over the course of 1,000 years and just trying to talk to anybody in the future. In 100 years, it'll be rough. It'll be like you're speaking Old English, essentially. But I think you could manage it. In 1,000 years, fuck out of here. I don't think anybody knows what the fuck you're saying at that point. So Tangent said, you're right. Just get Canadian money and they won't know the difference. And then Tangent said World War III, North Korea. Mr. 46K said, lol, imagine bringing modern day weapons to the medieval era. Now, that's interesting. Going back in time to do like some conquer shit, like to just take control from like power. That's a different story. I feel like Tangent's caveman times is the best time for that. To try and like control people. You could just be like, I have something that's not even a weapon, but you don't understand it to such a fundamental level that I just feel like a magical god. And like take advantage of that. I feel like you could do a lot in a year to really fuck with society if you just went back old enough in time to where the people aren't advanced enough to kill you for being a wizard and are not advanced enough to admire you for being a wizard from just having technology. That's like the best time to go back to like conquer. You don't even really need weapons. You just need like a shiny thing, more or less. Tangent said, can we all answer, all of us, our plan for a zombie apocalypse? If so, I'll define what type I mean. He said, I do say, sir. What is the journ does thy shoot? Oh, right. the idea of like trying to speak like old English in the future. Pretty much, yeah. And I can explain my zombie apocalypse plan. It's to probably just die. If the world was like overrun with zombies, right? I could see myself either trying to make it to a safe place, which I think is pretty unrealistic and like a zombie apocalypse, or, right, just letting yourself get bit. I don't really think getting bit's that bad. So, I think the biggest issue with getting bit as a zombie, right, is that I think, because the way that I imagine it is you just become like really, really slow in your thinking and you get like a strong craving, right? So when I imagine like zombies, I think they still are conscious, but they can't like react to things as quickly. And I think they like really crave brains. They just want to eat brains, right? So you go back in time. Well, this isn't a time travel one. I imagine if you got bit, as long as some guy didn't kill you, none of the other zombies are going to kill you. At least you live. And you live potentially forever. You now can only die if someone kills you. And you can explore, and while you experience everything slowly and you're always kind of fucking hungry, at least you're not dead, because zombies can also just kill you and you not come back as a zombie. So I would prefer to get bit, hopefully nobody kills me for no reason, and just be immortal. That's my choice in a zombie apocalypse. My survival is to be an immortal zombie. Then Mr. 46K said, laugh my fucking ass off. He said, yo, bring out the automatics. Forget the bow and arrow shit. I feel like that would definitely change the game. The issue of having like a weapon that's really powerful instead of just having something fancy to like show off that only you know how to use is that if someone realizes how guns work and then just takes the gun from you like while you were asleep, you're fucked. You are essentially fucked. Also, you'll have bullets that are like very limited ammunition. If you run out of all your bullets, then you're like, fuck, bullets don't exist in this time. I have no more ammo. This is just like a paperweight now. You know, that would kind of suck too. If you have like a device that can like do interesting and useful shit, but only you know how to use that device, even if someone else takes that device from you and goes, I'm the wizard now, you can be like, bet, do any of the wizard shit with it. And if they can't, they automatically are like denounced as a false wizard. You get that shit back, and you're just still in power. So I feel like that's like the easiest way to get power in the past. Tangent Bell said, my plan is a deserted island with a fishing pole and iodine. He said, I think it's called. He said, I got a cassette player and batteries, man. Then he said, brains, knowledge equals power. Logical is awesome. A deserted island seems pretty safe for a zombie apocalypse, because hopefully nobody else is there. So that seems pretty good. Tangent said, at least if you run out of ammo, they can't kill you with it. True. It's the strat. The strat is to use up all the ammo right before they get it, and then it's like, aha! It doesn't work for you anymore. So let's see. What is the next comment? Spend a year in 2119 is a long time from now, but it would be easier to adapt and navigate that world. Too much would have changed in 1,000 years. A month would not be enough time to understand it. Just think of changes that happen from like 1019 to 2019. And I understand where he's coming from on that. I agree that it would be easier to adapt in 2119, but it's more than adaptation. It's more about what you can take back from it. And I think you can take back a lot more from 2119 to your own time than you could from 3019. Unless, okay, so hear me out. So I like to pay attention to mice and like lab research. You'll hear all the time about like a new lab test with a mouse where they like altered its genes and now it glows in the dark, or now it's stronger than a normal mouse, or now it's faster than a normal mouse. Well, there's a mouse lab test that we've been able to do where you can straight up zap experiences into a mouse's brain. I'm not going to go into the details, but we have technology now where you can take a mouse who's like never done a particular thing before, and you can zap it. They like flash like a hologram into his brain. Again, I'm not going to go into the details, but they kind of zap it, and then that mouse suddenly has like memories of shit that it never did before. But we currently don't have that for humans. If in 1,000 years you can zap people like that, and you can just like learn stuff, fuck it. I'd rather go to like 3019 and get zapped. I feel like I'd show up and no one would know what the fuck I was talking about, and they'd be like, he seems like he needs to get educated. And they sit me in a chair and I get zapped, and I'm like, oh fuck, I understand everything now. And then I go back like 1,000 years after a month, and I just would know so much information just faster than in 2119. Now, if in 2119 they have the zap technology, I could dig that. The zap, it just makes everything easier. That is, if we can ever get it to work for humans. Tangent said, just take the ammo clip out when you sleep if you get sent back in time with an automatic weapon. And then Tangent said, how weird is Sword Art Online? He said, I've never watched it, but I hear it's super weird. I couldn't really get into Sword Art Online personally. I watched like the first 5 or 6 episodes, and I dropped it. I just wasn't into it. Then Tangent said, Pinky in the brain. And then he said, we can control a cockroach that's dead. Then Tangent said, do a face reveal. We've never seen your face. Ba-na-na-na, hey, there's my face. Face reveal. So let's see. What is the next post on here? Year in 2119. Within a year, I could memorize blueprints or parts of new technology. Come back, make and sell them myself, or get records of all sports events of the past 100 years, and when I come back, bet on all of it. Use that to rise in fame and fortune. Use the money to invest in companies that I saw would make it big in 2119. So this person has a very similar idea to me, except they wanted to memorize blueprints and parts of new technology. Fuck that. I don't want to do that. Why would I want to try and memorize tech? I feel like you just won't remember it. You won't remember whatever the fuck you're trying to memorize. You'll remember base concepts of what future technology can do that present tech can't. And at best, you could understand what companies develop that and invest in those companies. Just figure out what companies hold those patents. Don't think about how to do it yourself and how to make your own company. Just figure out who does it. They're trying to do too much, is what my thoughts are. Then Tangent Bell said, "Whoa!" And then a year in 2987, then Tangent Bell asked, "What's my favorite movie?" It's actually a list. It's a list of 3 movies. The Other Guys, starring Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. So that's my favorite comedy. Gremlins, which is my favorite Christmas movie. And Fantastic Mr. Fox, which is my favorite animated film. So those are my top 3 favorite movies. Surprisingly, no superhero movies are in that list. Superhero movies have their own list. They have their own special place. Let's see. Next up, we got another 1 year in 2119. Mr. 46K said JDS, Revenge. What is JDS short for? 1 year in 2119. Considering how quickly technology advanced from 1900 to 2001, it would probably be even faster from 2018 to 2119. That's true. Mr. 46K said JDS Revenge is his favorite movie. What's JDS Revenge? I just don't know what JDS stands for. I'm curious if I've heard of the film before. Let's see. A month in 3019, I'm either living in Futurama or the desolate wastelands of a bygone era. Hopefully neither. Let's see. Tangent Bell said his favorite movie is Spider-Man Homecoming. Like, of all time? What did you think of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse then? Tangent said, job's done, and then he's like, sucky? Question mark? Oh, he's trying to figure out what JDS means. Let's see. Someone said 2119 because I can ask people about their older relatives, which I would know, and I could know how everyone turned out. If I chose 3019, everyone I love would be forgotten. More or less, I feel like with the cyber world that we live in, a lot of stuff is recorded, especially if you do stuff like you have a journal or you like vlog every day. I could do shit in 2119, that is if YouTube's still a thing, and if like my channel's archived and not like deleted and removed because I'm dead. I could do stuff like go back and watch like the last vlog video that I ever updated and see how my life ends. I could straight up just see if I succeed and what my plan is by just looking at my channel and seeing like how everything worked out. I can just know the events ahead of time. I feel like that'd be really interesting. A matter of fact, you go to 2119, you open up YouTube, and you just watch a video from past future you, where you go, hey, future me, this video is for you. This is going to be really confusing to everyone else, but here are all the companies that I invested in, and here are all the sports games that I bet on, where everything worked out correctly. You misremember a few things when you go back, but hopefully with this video, you don't misremember anything. And it's like a constantly recorrecting cycle, because if you make that video and then you go back and then you fix the things that you messed up in that video, then you'll make another video, and then it's like a weird chain to where eventually you just get the perfect time travel scenario because you have a video guide that you upload, but the video guide's different every time you go back. It's like a weird time loop that just ends with better and better futures every time. Tangent said top 5, and he said, and he hasn't seen the new one yet. I think you're going to really like Into the Spider-Verse. Tangent said, I feel like the future would be like Adventure Time. Ooh. Mr. Forces K said, I also like Salem's Lot. Oh, so like that's a Stephen King story. I don't think I've ever seen Salem's Lot, but my mom has it on DVD. Or on VHS, or both. Something like that. Tangent Bell said, Salem's Lot. That is the Stephen King thing, right? It is. For a minute, I thought about Sandlot, and I'm like, he's not talking about Sandlot. Tangent Bell said, speaking of, could you sing it? Don't have to, but can you? Sing what? What would be the thing that I sung? Then Mr. 46K said, great flicks. Tangent said, I also like salami. He said, I heard you were playing the Prowler. Who plays the Prowler? Because I don't think it's Childish Gambino. And Into the Spider-Verse. I think they got a different guy. I do think he'll play it in the live-action movies, though. They pretty much have him already in the role in Spider-Man Homecoming. So maybe we'll eventually see Gambino Prowler? I think that'd be dope. Let's see. Mr. 46K said, can tell you have too much energy. Tangent said, I'm not bullying Jet. He said, everyone else is. He said, oh, I totally have too much energy. He said, sing Adventure Time. The theme song? I don't remember it. It's like, Adventure Time, you want to grab a friend, something, 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 till the end. With Jake the dog and Finn the human, the fun will never end. Adventure Time? It's something like that. But I don't remember all the words. But that's Adventure Time. Let's see. What is the next one on this Would You Rather? I'll take the month. If I went away for a year, my relationship would suffer so much, and I'd miss my cat and my husband terribly. Plus, I have a business that would go to hell if I was gone that long. Hey, I know what I could do. If I was gone for a year in real time in 2119 and I came back, I have a few interesting advantages. For one, when it comes to my current relationship troubles, part of the issue is that with my scholarship, I'd have to go somewhere in the country. I could go anywhere in the country and I have to move. But if I come back from spending a year in the future, then I keep thinking that I'm gonna owe money to my scholarship, but if I'm declared dead and then come back, I wonder if the government would be like, oh, and write off the debt during the year that I'm gone. So if they write off the debt and then I come back, I wonder if they could spring the debt back on me, or if they'd be like, oh, well, it poofed. If it poofed, it works out really well. If it didn't poof, I just use my future knowledge to pay back the money. But either way, it would be that I avoided my obligation, which means I wouldn't have to move, and then maybe I could stay in my relationship with Maddie. It really depends on if she moved on in a year. Even if I told Maddie, I'm going to the future for 1 year and I'll be back, that doesn't necessarily mean that she would wait for me for a year or believe that I'd survive in the future, because it is possible that I could go to the future and die. But I guess I'd know that by looking at the time stuff. I could just look back and see if I survived by checking history. Probably just checking my YouTube channel. Let's see, Tangent said, it may be someone else who plays him. He said, there's a wave of Michael Cera's here and it scares me. And then he said, go to California. He says, it's me, 4 and a ghost, 3 viewers. He said, Omega, is that you? And then Mr. Forces K said, lol. But I went on a whole tangent because they brought up relationships. And I was like, ooh, speaking of relationships, it'd be interesting. If YouTube Rewind still exists in either of them, then I'm not going. That's interesting. Let's see. Welcome to the world of tomorrow. Let's see. So this person only has 7 upvotes. We're starting to get to the bottom of the barrel of this one. But I spent a good time on here, so I'm going to smash that upvote button. This was a solid Would You Rather. Really enjoyed it. And also, I'm going to scroll back down and scroll to the person who talked about actually taking advantage of being in the future. Yeah, this person. I don't know why they only have 130 upvotes. They definitely said the best thing. They seem to really pay attention to what was going on and how you can take advantage of being temporarily in the future and coming back. Tangent said, your pic looks like a Bastrion, another YouTuber. Then he said, you went on a tangent. Tangent bell. Ding. Let's see. So we got a picture of Wonder Woman by Philip Tan. She looks like a demon. It's her eyes. Her eyes are going a little too hard. Yeah, her eyes I think are just supposed to be bluish green, but for whatever reason they shine too hard and they just don't fit with the rest of the image. Good drawing though. I think the eyes are the only thing that grabbed me, but they grabbed me oddly, she looks evil for some reason. So let's see, scrolling down. Why can you hear the sound of tap water changing temperature? What? That's interesting, but not enough for me to hit it up. Chris Farley and some guy in 1993. Oh, what a shit on Adam Sandler. I, for a minute, didn't recognize Adam Sandler. I did recognize Chris Farley immediately, though. Let's see. Infant unit nurses when the earthquake hits the hospital. Yeah. Yeah, of course you grab all the babies. That's exactly... If they didn't grab all the babies, I would have been upset. Let's see. Mr. 46K said, no disrespect, but I low-key mistook your name for Taco Bell 98. And then Tangent said, not the first time. It's fine, man. Speaking of Taco Bell, after this live stream, I'm going to eat. I'm going to exercise, because what I do is I only eat once a day. So I'm going to do my exercise routine, and I'm going to eat my one meal for the day. So I'll do that after the stream. So this is watch people survive. So that car swerves. That car swerves. The only person you know who survives is the guy in the white car, though. And that person, they get out of the car and they go, woo! So I really do like their reaction. They're like, holy fuck. Oh wait, the other guy, yeah, everybody survived. That white car was the only one that was really at risk at eating shit. So yeah, they made it. Let's see, Mr. 46K said, dude didn't Chris Farley pass. Rip. And then Tangent Bell said, I don't know, Rip Stan Lee. He said, I thought the nurses would have just ran. I'm glad they did their job. If they didn't do their job, that would have been really upsetting. They should get... It's weird to say they should get fired. An earthquake is not something you should be immediately prepared for. But at the same time, if your main job description is preserving human life, then if there's a catastrophe that you can potentially prevent, I feel like you should do your best to try and prevent it if you can. I did a moment of silence for Stan Lee. I think the day he died, the moment of silence was in a fan poll results video that we did. Tangent said, after this, I gotta hit the gym. He's like, do 100 miles in 10 minutes, the basics. I like how you say multiple times. Oh, Green Lantern Corps decorations. When I was younger, I wanted to have all of the Green Lantern rings. I knew a place where you could buy all of them, like plastic, but I only ever bought the Green Lantern ring, and I bought the White Lantern ring. The Green Lantern ring I gave to my high school girlfriend back in the day, but I still have the White Lantern ring somewhere. Just don't know where it is. Oh! One of those rings I got from my friend Jackson. Maybe the Green Lantern ring. Because I remember I didn't originally have any of the Green Lantern rings, and I was shocked to see one at my friend Jackson's house. And I was like, you can just buy those? What? Tangent said, apparently they filmed his scene for Endgame already. Oh, for Avengers? I imagine they have a lot of footage captured of Stan Lee, and they may be able to, CGI recreate him in movies, but I wonder if it'll be the same. Or if you'll look at it and you'll be like, aw, man. Tangent said, I have the Orange Lantern ring. Ooh, Avarice. The Ring of Greed. Let's see, we got a War of Warcraft thing. Don't really care. Whoa! Hey, what the fuck, stock photos is one of my favorites. So he has feet hands. I don't know why they made this. I don't know what you would use that for. It's less that he has feet hands and more that he has leg arms when you really pay attention to it. Because it's not like he has normal wrist and then feet. He has just legs here. These are just legs in this picture. Does that mean that he has arm legs? I'm not sure. Tangent said it won't be the same, sadly. It won't be the same. He won't be the same after this mad science experiment. Let's see. So we got a DC cinematic post. Sad to hear this. We can do better, guys. James Wan said, it has come to my attention that some folks are getting harassed by some fans for not liking Aquaman. Please don't do that. Not the kind of support I want. Be respectful. Vice versa. It's okay to not like my film, but there's no need to attack me personally or tag me on hates. Peace. I like that. I like that someone's trying to bring awareness to James Wan's feeling on toxicity and the Aquaman community. So, good on James Wan. Good on the user who posted that. Amiable Penguin. That's very amiable of you to do. Let's see. Tangent said, find the lady shooting a fish. Find the lady shooting a fish. Is that in relation to this? Or this? Let's see. Mr. 46K said, totally off topic, but I prefer DC instead of Marvel, but my respects to Stan. Agreed in all respects. I prefer DC over Marvel, but my respects to Stan Lee. Also, in terms of movies, like Marvel to DC, I think Marvel has better films, but I think DC is suffering in part because I have to play catch-up. They couldn't start their cinematic universe back when they were making the Christopher Nolan Batman films, because Christopher Nolan's like, I don't want an extended universe. I want to have Batman in a world where no one has superpowers. So DC not only has to catch up, but DC also, I think, gets heavily criticized because of the fact that they don't do what Marvel does. So Marvel likes to have a lot of origin story movies and then slowly put characters together, while DC tries to make like a congruent, it's weird to say congruent, make like a continuity where each movie leads into the next movie and characters from different movies spill into each other. And to me, DC does a better job of making all the movies seem like they take place in the same world, because crossovers shouldn't just happen on special occasions. Crossover should just happen because all the characters exist in the same place at the same time. So I feel like DC movies are catching up. They're going to get there. And I feel like if people can respect superhero movies as telling like one big story across multiple franchises that go in like a pretty seamless order, you can watch the movies as they come out and they tell like one big story about one big world, then I think DC's gonna kill it. But if people are ingrained in the Marvel formula and just feel like the DC formula doesn't work for them, then I feel like DC will suffer for it. So I don't know, but that's the way that I'm thinking on that. Tangent said, if World War III happened, would it be Germany or North Korea? Why would it be Germany? Do we have any bad blood with Germans? I understood why you said North Korea. I thought you would have maybe said like Russia or North Korea. Germany doesn't seem right. Tangent said, it's a reference to yesterday's video. Yesterday's? World War III? Yesterday? Was it yesterday's Reddit video? Did we talk about World War III? Then Tangent said the fish thing is a reference to yesterday's video. The fish thing. Could you remind me of the fish thing? Then Tangent said the congruent intensifies. Let's see. Scrolling through. Mr. 46K put up that thumbs up. So we got a shower thought. If the Matrix was real, it's far more likely that humans would have been killed off, and larger, less intelligent animals like cows were used for power. They would make more energy, never revolt, and the Matrix would be simple as a massive field for them to happily graze. That makes sense. I like their concept for the Matrix. So let's see, Tangent said, well, they started too, and yeah, I meant Russia, sorry. Oh, no problem. Let's see. So I like this this multiverse image. It reminds me of how DC represents their multiverse by just showing a bunch of individual Earths. But I also like the hand that's just dropping universes into the mix. I really love this image. At first, I thought this was on r/Imaginary Immortals, and I thought it was like the god of the multiverse, but he was like the multiverse itself with arms, which sounds fucking ridiculous. But it's just Imaginary Mindscapes. I think this could have easily fit on r/Imaginary Immortals, though. Tangent said, we were on a Reddit vid, and me and Omega were discussing weirdest subreddits, and fish came up? Interesting. Today I learned that Lucy's Law bans pet shops and dealers in England from selling puppies and kittens. It was named after Lucy, a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel who developed fused hips, a curved spine, bald patches, and epilepsy after years of mistreatment in the puppy management farming system. What? For one, I didn't know that you couldn't sell kittens and puppies in England. Like, there's a law against it. And two, it's because of a puppy farming system. Why not more heavily regulate puppy farming instead of just banning the sale of them altogether? The thing that European countries need to ban are raccoons. Did you know that raccoons are an invasive species in other countries because people come to America, capture raccoons, and then sell them as pets? That needs to get banned. Don't sell raccoons as pets. We don't do it here because it's stupid. It's not a good idea. But why no puppies and kittens but people get raccoons? That's ridiculous. Let's see. Tangent said, can we speak about Will Smith as Genie in the live-action Aladdin? I still haven't watched that trailer yet. I need to do a reaction video to it. There are a lot of trailers that I just purposely haven't watched so that I can react to them later. Mr. 46K said, do you think hell exists? My religious views are weird. And a lot of people get confused when I say it, but I feel that all religions are true. Rather than trying to say that one religion is right, I feel like all religions exist and your belief system determines like where you go when you die. So it's not like you believe in like the Egyptian underworld and then you die and you go to Christian hell. You go to like the one that you truly believe in out of the set. So I believe that all of them exist and it just depends on what you believe in is where you go. So yeah, I believe that a whole bunch of hells exist. Tangent said, I didn't know dogs could have epilepsy. That is interesting to learn. I feel like I've heard that before, but I haven't heard it recently. Tangent said, no, I do not. If you mean Jet, he should answer. Tangent said, did you know honeybees should die because they actually ruin the ecosystem? I've heard the opposite. I've heard that honeybees really help out the ecosystem. Then Tangent said, there's a trailer? Yeah, there was a live action Aladdin trailer. I could have sworn that I like purposely didn't watch it. Is there only a poster out? Because if so, I'm kind of disappointed. Mr. 46K said, I don't judge, bro. You good. Oh, thank you kindly. Appreciate it. Ooh, r/mini worlds. That's not as cool as it could have been. But it is kind of like a planet. R/mini worlds is just zoomed in images of things, and you try to imagine yourself being small and in that world. But when I look at that, I have trouble seeing it as a planet, and I see it more as just what it is, a rose inside of like a ball. But that's an issue with my own imagination. I feel like if there was more of a balance between the green and the red, I could imagine oceans and land. But because there's so much red, I'm like, planet without oceans? What is this, Mars? What are we doing here? Tangent said, so you're Mormon, as far as I know. They believe you get an island based on your beliefs. I may be wrong. He said they're evasive. Bumblebees help, or it may be the other way, but one does. So you're saying one kind of bee is helpful, but one kind of bee isn't. I could see that. R/imaginary cyberpunk, to me, is very hit or miss. So I really love r/imaginary subreddits to see people's imagination come to life when they like draw it out. But I'm not super into science fiction, like tech and like a drawing point of view. I get hype when MIT goes, we made a headset that lets you use technology with your mind. That's a real thing. It's called the alter ego. Feel free to Google that. Or MIT goes, we can now shrink things in real life. Real thing. That was very recent. That was like last month or so. Google that. We can shrink stuff now. Fucking crazy. Mr. 46K said, I would be Mormon only to have more than one wife. He said, lol. He said, I'm going straight to hell for that. No, I think you're good, dude. You're saying it all in good fun. Tangent said, I thought it was a fortune teller's ball. Lol. Kind of looks like it. Let's see. So on r/who would win, can the SCP Foundation contain every legendary Pokemon? I don't really look into SCP enough for me to have a dog in this fight. You know what I mean? So I'm going to let this who would win be on the wayside. Plus, I don't know enough about Pokemon to have a dog in this fight. I have no idea. Okay. Tangent Bell has brought up a very interesting point. He asked if we believe in... I need to get it on a knot to stop it on for me to talk about the multiverse. So this is the Seomancer. That is an interesting image. Not gonna lie, but it's kind of creepy. Yeah, let me put on the sunset while we talk about the multiverse. Tangent Bell said, please, good sir, call me Tangent. Sorry, I keep saying the Bell part. I'm used to saying people's full names, but I don't say the number. I never call you 98, but Tangent. Mr. 46K said the multiverse. Okay, I got you. The multiverse is the concept that our universe isn't the only one, and that there are multiple other universes that exist. Believe it or not, there are actually multiple different theories talking about whether or not we exist in a multiverse or we don't. I've actually written and published multiple books. If you guys aren't aware, I'm a published author. I have multiple books published on Amazon, and I'm writing and publishing books all the time. I have a few non-fiction books where I talk about people's theories of the multiverse and my own theories of the multiverse. A short answer to your question is yes, I do believe that other universes exist. Why? I believe that the universe is infinite, and I believe that there are only so many configurations of matter, and that in the infinite universe, every possible configuration of matter exists eventually. I don't think that every universe that will ever exist currently exists. There's actually a paradox about that that says that if the universe is infinite and that there would be stars everywhere, and you would look up into space and you would just see light from all the stars hitting us at once. But the universe can still be infinite as long as it's not infinitely old. If the universe is infinite and infinitely old, you would see all those stars in the sky and you'd be blinded because you would just be hit by starlight from everywhere. So over time, more universes develop as additional matter configurations form and the universe expands, creating other Earths essentially and other like Milky Way like galaxies as the universe expands further. That's my theory for the multiverse. There are theories that talk about extra dimensions and shit like that. I feel like they're harder to prove. I feel like the concept of, I mean, it's hard to prove that the universe is infinite too, but I feel like we have enough to go off of to see that the universe is continually expanding and that it seems like it will expand on forever. And if that's the case, then I feel like the multiverse is an inevitable consequence of that. But that's my theory, a multiverse theory. Let's see. So, Tangent said that there are realities based on decisions you make. So that's the many worlds interpretation. And the many worlds interpretation is based off of a quantum phenomenon that you may have heard of called Schrodinger's cat. The concept of that is particles that are really, really small on the quantum scale. Quantum is just small, which is really small. They're able to enter superposition. And in superposition, a particle can be in two states at once. So if you apply superposition to things that are big, not quantum, like me or you could be in superposition and be alive and dead at the same time, or hungry and full at the same time. States that are contradictory to each other, but because of the nature of superposition, you can be in both at the same time. You can be in superposition to the point where you're in all states at the same time. So it's like every possible you are at that moment. So with Schrodinger's cat, they bring up the idea of you have a quantum state that determines whether or not a vial of poison breaks in a box with a cat. So there's a box that has a cat in it, and the vial of poison will break depending on if a particle is in state 1 or in state 2. But the particle is instead in superposition. So you would fathom that somehow the cat is alive and dead at the same time, because the vial of poison must be breaking but not breaking at the same time. Because if you make anything that's our size dependent on something that's quantum that can be in superposition, it kind of forces us to also be in superposition. So the way that they argue Schrodinger's cat is they say either one or the other happens because things in real life aren't in superposition. So it's like either the cat just is dead or the cat just is alive, or there are like multiple universes. So the way that it occurs is that like the cat might be dead in our universe, but there's another universe where the cat's alive. And that's where the many worlds interpretation comes from. It's really crazy. There's a lot of stuff that goes into that. David Dwesh, by the way, wrote a really good book about like the nature of reality and quantum physics. I have it on my Kindle. It's definitely worth looking into. I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but if you just type in multiverse, quantum physicist, his name should pop up eventually, and David, then you should be able to find it. Let's see. Tangent said, oh well, I got the multiverse wrong. No, you didn't get the multiverse wrong. Tangent said, tell me, Jet, if I buy your book, does the money go to you? It does go to me. Just a very small amount of money. I get like small royalties off book sales. Mr. 46K said, oh, okay, thanks for the enlightenment. Let's see, scrolling down, trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. Mr. 46K said, what are your thoughts on physics? Now, that is a question for your boy Winslow. Winslow is on the channel quite regularly, and he has his own channel called Empire of Eternia. He also has another channel called Winslow where he focuses on rap stuff. Winslow is really into physics. He wants to be a physicist when he grows up. I'm terrible with math. When it comes to science, I know a good bit about computer science, and even then, I'm only in my specific field. I know a good amount of like Python and VBA and SQL, but physics, no, I don't fuck with physics. I'm not on that. I didn't even take physics. I took environmental science in college. Let's see. Tangent said, that's a good goal, like a professor or like a scientist. Mr. 46K said, I would like to major in physics one day in my life. Oh, that's ballin'. You can do it. It seems tough, at least for me. I don't have that skill set, but if you have that skill set, then definitely hit it up. Let's see. Mr. 46K said, yeah, you could say. And then Tangent said, oh, well, would you happen to put a link in? Oh, a link to the books? Yeah, I can hit you up with the link to the books. Dunk 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 dun 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 boom 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 boom. So I'm gonna go on Amazon real quick, type in my name, send you guys a link to the name. Dunk 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 do 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 do. Oh, I know what I have to do. So I type in my name, and then I find a book that has my name written under it. And then I click on the author link if I can find it, and then it should only show books written by me. Here we go. So I click on the author link, and now it's showing results for books written by me. That's a long ass URL. Will that fit? Will this URL fit at all? It barely fits. That's a gross URL. I really don't like that. I'm gonna try and make you guys a better URL than that. So I'm gonna go to tiny URL, dunk 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 dun 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 dun, and I'm going to make the URL Nickabenson Books, but I typed it in the wrong box. So tinyurl.com/Nickabenson Books. Grab that Amazon link, make tiny URL. Hey, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Copy to clipboard. Bam. Oh, it didn't let me do it. What? Let me see if I can do it this time. Nope, it doesn't want me to do it. Dang. So close, yet so far. Let's see. So, Tangent said, so that should work? Yeah, if you click on that link, it should take you to an Amazon page that only shows you books written by me. I don't think it'll be a complete list because I don't think I always used my middle name when I published. So some of the books that aren't under my full name probably won't show up, but it'll show a good majority of at least my recent work. Let's see. Mr. 46K said, who would win, a cobra or a mongoose in a fight? I personally don't know enough about animals. I didn't go into that. I know a lot more about bugs and what bugs would win in a fight than I know about like general animals. And that's because I really love Monster Bug Wars on YouTube and Japanese bug fights. So I've like seen matchups of bugs in the wild and in captivity fighting each other. So I have a good idea of which bugs would win in a fight and why, depending on the bugs. Let's see. Tangent said, I'll probably, he said, I'll be right back. Just gonna put some in my cart. Oh, thank you kindly, Tangent. Truly appreciate it. Tangent said, what the hell is Among Us? Dunk, 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 dunk. Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, imaginary demons. This actually looks pretty dope. I'm gonna put that upvote on it. Scrolling through. Oh, this is the same guy who made that Mancer earlier. His style of art is very creepy. High beams in 2018. Goodness. Why is this so accurate? Leaked photo of YouTube staff picking trending videos. Oh, with a blindfold on. Holy fuck. I don't think it's that bad. I feel like a lot of the trending videos do feel paid for. They feel like, is that really trending? Or did someone say, promote my video for money? Let's see, this template is hot. Kid goes to guidance counselor to report bullying. Guidance counselor. Whoa, that's interesting, but I sure don't care. Holy shit. That's a good line for Sonic to say. That's not what I expected. Huh. This is a very feathery dragon. I'm going to hit the like button because it looks almost like a rat. It looks like a rat with wings. It's like a rat with wings with 4 eyes and big as fuck. But I dig that. That phone case has way too much stuff on it. I like Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super, and I've only seen a little bit of Dragon Ball. I think it's pretty good for what I've seen. But that's too much Goku on a phone. I couldn't deal with that. It's too busy. I have a desktop background that I've set up that's like 3 images of Goku. But it's 3. Notice that there are only 3 of them on there because it doesn't need to be more than that. It's just too busy. Sourdough pull-apart garlic bread with shredded mozzarella cheese. Oh gosh, that sounds fucking dope. Not gonna lie. It doesn't look super appealing, but I can just imagine the taste. It looks a little burnt. I think that's part of what gets me fucked up. But I don't think it's burnt. I think it might have to do with the fact that it's sourdough. It might just be a darker bread. Also, sourdough might be what fucks me up. I'm not a big fan of sourdough, but I like garlic bread and I like mozzarella cheese, and I feel like together, solid combo. Mr. 46K said, what's an RPG? An RPG is a role-playing game. So I make a lot of books that are guidebooks for tabletop role-playing games. Think of like Dungeons and Dragons is a popular role-playing game. Pathfinder is a popular role-playing game. So if you get like a group of friends together, get a piece of paper, some dice, and like a pencil, you can like play a role-playing game. I make a whole bunch where I like make up my own like fantasy world, whether it be like a superhero fantasy world or like medieval fantasy, and I make the world playable, where you can like make your own character and you can like explore that world with your friends. You have one person who's like a game master, and that game master controls everything else that exists in the world. And then you have a bunch of players who essentially play characters in that world. And the game master throws shit at them. Like he goes, you guys walk into the Walmart and there's like a fucking dragon working at the counter. What do you guys do? And then everyone talks about like how they respond and react. And then their reaction, what they say they do, doesn't necessarily match. It's based on what their character's abilities are, like whether or not they're actually capable of doing it, and dice rolls, because they could do a bad roll. And it's like, well, you kind of did what you wanted to do, or you did exactly what you wanted to do, or you like ate shit and died. The dragon just like ate your dick. You know, like anything can happen. So if you guys are interested in the RPG guidebooks, I have a ton of RPG guidebooks out there. So feel free to check those out. Let's see. Tangent Bell said, I think it's like a missile launcher. And then he said, book-wise. Tangent Bell said, I'm going to buy like $8 worth, and About Physics and A Hero in Training better be good. And they will. Buying them next week. Oh, thank you kindly, Tangent Bell. I appreciate it. Then Tangent Bell said, wait, my pick is showing up. My stepmom's an imaginary demon. What? What was that? That last line was crazy. Let's see. Mr. 46K said, I'm most interested in the books. Very creative. Oh, thank you kindly. I would recommend Steel Jacket, The Life of a Superhero in Training. So for that one, if you guys like my vlog videos, imagine a vlog video, but I take everything that happened in my day and I like fictionalize it. So instead of me going to a normal college, I'm going to like a college of superheroes. And instead of me going through like normal relationship trouble, it like has to do with like an evil villain scheme or some shit like that. So it's essentially a vlog in book form, but it's like superheroes and superpowers and shit like that. It has a 5-star rating, so the people who have bought it have really enjoyed it. So I'd highly recommend Steel Jacket, The Life of a Superhero in Training. It's pretty much just a vlog video, but superheroes, but a book. So that one I think is pretty good. What is another one that I would recommend for you guys to check out? Cross Monday. Everybody keeps buying Cross Monday. So Cross Monday is a LARP guidebook. And LARP is kind of like what I explained before, but crazier. So think of the tabletop role-playing game thing that I told you before, where you have like paper and a pencil and dice and you have a game master. Now think of that and then say, fuck that. Fuck paper, fuck pencils, fuck dice. What if I want to dress up as my character and run around with my friends all in costume, and when you fight things in the game, it's like an actual fight where you use props and weapons and shit like that. That's what LARPing is, live action roleplay. Cross Mundi is a live action role playing game where there are like different classes and species you can be. So you can make your character like a monster and you like dress up as it. And different character classes have different powers that you can use in combat. And a lot of live action role playing games focus on you using props to fight each other. So you like make weapons out of like foam and shit and you battle. In my game, I'm like, yeah, you can use props and fight, but you can also just hit niggas with your fist. I think I have one of the only live action role playing guidebooks where it says you can just fight. You can just punch niggas out. Mr. 46K said that food pic looks hella gross. I'm sorry, dude. Let me scroll past that. I want a cool picture. Let's put it on this dragon for now, since we're distracted on the books. I'm sorry. Yeah, the bread looks kind of burnt. I think it's kind of delicious. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten my one meal for the day. But I understand where you're coming from. I think the sourdough bread is what missed me on that. Tangent Bell said, sorry, thought you meant missiles. No problem. Mr. 46K said, I got my eye on the Stingray book you wrote. Interesting point on the Stingray book. So let me hit you up talking about the Stingray book. So Stingray Volume 1. I wrote that book for a client on Fiverr. It was originally meant for his son. His son was really into like drones and shit like that. And he was like, I want to give it to my son for the holiday. Could you please write this book for my son? And he didn't give me much to go off of. He was like, my son likes drones and he hangs out with his sister and he likes to work out. And that was about it. And from that, I wrote a huge book. And he paid me for half of the book. Because of the way Fiverr works, he wasn't able to pay me for like the full thing all at once. So he paid me for half of the book and I finished half of it. And then I finished the second half of the book and I was really proud of it. And the way that my Fiverr gig is set up, it's where I'm willing to give you rights to use whatever I write for you in any way. So I was like, you can like give the book to your kid. That's perfectly fine. You can do whatever you want with the book. But I still have like the right to use what I wrote in any way that I want. So I'm like, I've published the book. And then after I published the book, homeboy was like, well, I'm not going to pay for the other half of the book. You stole my idea. I was afraid this was going to happen. Someone was going to steal my idea. And I feel like he should have just like read the description of the gig. In the description, I say, I still retain the rights to what I've written, and I can do whatever I want with it, but they can also do whatever they want with it. That's a really big deal for like my Fiverr gig. But essentially, to write that book, I got paid $75, but I was supposed to get paid like twice that much. And since then, that book has just kind of been there. I don't think a lot of people have bought Stingray, but it's based off of me trying to make a gift for this kid's son and then not getting paid. I mean, no, that's not what it's based off of. That's the story of how the book was written. The story itself is actually pretty good. I like Stingray. Let's see. Tangent said, hey, Steel Jacket is the one I'm getting. Oh, ballin'. Tangent said, can you see the pic now, Jet? Sadly, no, I cannot see the pic. It still is just showing Michael Cera. On the phone, it shows the Wildebeest, but on my computer, it just shows the Michael Cera pic. Tangent Bell said, so that part is live action Dungeons and Dragons? Well, he said live action Dungeons, and more dungeons. Yeah, the live action role playing one, Cross Mundi. I sold a copy of that recently. People are still buying Cross Mundi. I think people like the idea of having different characters and putting on costumes and actually fighting each other. And there are rules. It's not like you just fight each other just to fight. Where you get hit determines like hit points and stuff like that. And of course character powers come into play. So Cross Mundi is pretty cool. Mr. 46K said, the guy seems like an idiot. Forget him. For a while, I wasn't writing superhero stories on Fiverr anymore. I went like solely into writing superhero books after that. But now I'm getting back into Fiverr. Recently did a Fiverr superhero story and it went really well. So I'm glad that I'm back and I'm like doing stories for people on Fiverr, and I can still write my books and I can still publish those stories as books. So it's the best of all worlds, and I'm really digging that. So let's see. Tangent said, "That's the first time I've heard you say that, lol." He said, "I'm white, yet I have a black grandpa. He doesn't say it, so just lol." Oh, did I say nigga? I might have said nigga. Based on what Tangent says, it sounds like I said nigga. Yeah, I say it. Believe it or not, I curse a lot. I curse quite often, but I have friends who swear they've never heard me curse, and they'll hear me curse, and they'll be like, "I've never heard you curse before." And I'm like, I'm pretty sure. If you look back at past conversations, I've cursed multiple times right in front of you. Maybe even in conversation talking directly to you. So I curse quite a bit. I used to actually not say the N-word. I used to find it offensive. People used to say it, not even like in a mean way to me, just like, "Hey, what's up, nigga," kind of thing. And I would just be like, "No, please don't say that to me. I don't appreciate it." My friend Antonio, who is like half white, half Puerto Rican, he would say nigga all the time, but in like a funny way. And he would only say it if someone messed up. He'd be like, "Oh, nigga, that kind of thing." And it grew on me. I like using it in that way. I don't use it as a term of endearment. I don't go like, "That's my nigga." I normally go like, "Nigga, why'd you do that?" It's like that kind of way. I'm more fine with that. So that's what I use it a lot for. If someone called me a nigga, I don't think I'd be down. I don't think, it depends on your tone. It really does at that point. If I can tell that it's like a term of endearment and I know you and we've hung out a good bit, I still would probably tell you, like, "Don't call me that," because I normally just use that to describe someone who fucked up. But if you just said it and I didn't really know you well, I'd be like, "Definitely don't call me that." I don't appreciate it. Let's see. But definitely check out the books if you haven't already. Oh, Flying Brick is a book that I wrote that like no one's ever bought. I wrote it last year around Christmas time, so December 24th. So for Flying Brick, it's the story of a sentient superhero brick. The title says it all. It's about a brick that's alive that has superpowers. Tangent Bell said, "Yeah, it's funny." He says, "It shows it for me. The wildebeest picture. Like I said, it only shows it on my phone for some reason, but it doesn't show it to me on the computer. And I don't know why. But yeah, definitely feel free to check out those Amazon books. And I have a lot of books on Amazon. Like if you guys scroll down to the bottom of the page, there are like more pages of books. So if you guys keep scrolling through, there's just plenty for you guys to read if you'd be interested in buying any of my books. There's a bunch out there. Also, recent book, this came out December 27th, 2018, Superhero Santa, Original Series Concepts and Formulas. If you guys would want to know how I would write a superhero book featuring Santa Claus, I've written essentially a book that collects like the concepts for superhero Santa Claus stories and the formulas for how each book in those series would go. So if you'd be interested in seeing my vision for Superhero Santa, feel free to pick up Superhero Santa, Original Series Concepts and Formulas, which I just posted in the live chat below. Let's see. Getting back into Reddit, because we have derailed a little bit from Reddit, but I'm always glad to plug my books. Let's see. So we got r/tulpas. Somehow I skipped over this, but tulpas are interesting to talk about. So the concept of a tulpa is it's like an imaginary friend, but it goes into like the practice of magic and everything, and it's the idea of you create an imaginary friend that's so powerful it becomes its own entity with its own mind, and it can act without you controlling it. And some people believe that tulpas can like affect the physical world, like they can mess with stuff like ghost. And there's a Reddit dedicated to people who like create their own tulpas and they talk about their adventures with tulpas. Some people claim that their tulpas will like possess their bodies and control them, and they'll be posting and like, this is my tulpa controlling my body speaking. And people will draw pictures of how they visualize their tulpas and shit. It's a really interesting community. If you want to see like some interesting shit, r/tulpas is very interesting. The post that's here says telling your therapist about your tulpas, which I think wouldn't necessarily go well. If your therapist doesn't understand the concept of tulpas, they may just think you're schizophrenic and just are seeing shit. Mr. 46K said, bro, I swear, whoever made that Goku phone case is a damn fool. It's too many Gokus. There are way too many Gokus on this phone case. Also, do they have Ultra Instinct Omen? Yeah, it's in the upper left-hand corner. I was about to say, don't leave out Omen. Tangent Bell said, oh, it's fine. I'm cool with whatever words. I cuss a lot. But if my father heard me, I'd get my ass beat. I understand that. I don't think I've ever gotten in trouble more than vocally for cursing. I try not to curse around my parents, but as a kid I slipped a few times. It'd be like playing video games or watching a movie. I like exclaim at like a character messing up or something happening in a video game that's unfair, and a parent will like catch me cursing. But it's normally just a don't do that. I've never like been like punished, like grounded or had like an ass whooping for like cursing. It's never been like that bad. And now that I'm older, my parents feel a lot more comfortable cursing around me, and depending on the conversation, I can get away with cursing and they don't even bat an eye. It just feels like a natural part of the conversation, the same way how you would curse with a friend. And I like that. Let's see. Tangent Bell said, whoever makes any phone case is just weird. I've made phone cases. I actually have an online store called Honey Shark, where I sell like t-shirts, phone cases, etc. If you guys want to buy that merch, you would hit up my Honey Shark store. If you guys are interested, I can hit you up with a link in the description if you would be interested in buying Honey Shark merch. I doubt it, because it doesn't relate directly back to the YouTube channel. So people would be like, what the fuck is Honey Shark? And no one would, you'd be like, a YouTuber makes it, I guess. So let's see. Tangent Bell is like, person, what do you do for a living? And it's like, me, I make protective sleeves. Mr. 46K said, I'm very obsessed with collecting Ouija boards. That's an interesting hobby. Tell me more. Like, how did you get into collecting Ouija boards? Like, where did that start? Tangent Bell said, now it's $12. I added Flying Brick to my cart. Yo, thank you kindly. I appreciate it. The way that the book sales work is that when you like buy the books, I get like a small percentage of the books. If you get an ebook version of a book, right, I get a higher royalty from it, but then you don't get a physical copy. If you buy the physical copy, you can enroll in Kindle Matchbook, get the ebook for free, but then I actually get a lower cut of the money, which is interesting. I love the concept of people having physical copies of my books, which is why I always make them available in paperback, but I always get like a really small cut. Some of my paperback books, I get like literally like a penny. But for like an ebook, I normally make about like $1 or so like per purchase, which is pretty interesting. But thank you. I'm really glad that you guys are interested in checking out the books. I hope you enjoy them. Warning, a lot of them are pretty short. Definitely make sure you check the page count. The Superhero Santa book that I dropped recently is 41 pages, but it's also like a large print book. They're not like super long books. I just want to let you guys know that ahead of time. Some are. Stingray is like 75 pages pretty legitimately. Just a big ass book for what it is and the time that I wrote it. So keep that in mind. Let's see, Tangent Bell said, yeah. And then he said, I probably ate too much Christmas candy. And then he said, whoa, did you say you collect Ouija boards? Yeah, Mr. 46K collects Ouija boards. And then Tangent said, I collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but whatever floats your boat. And then he said, my tulpa controlled me and said that. You know, some people legitimately do the tulpa thing. I've even like dabbled with it in the past. I think it's interesting. But yo, I would love to see your collection. Like, what different kinds of Ouija boards do you have? I'm legitimately interested. He said, I have a vast collection of Ouija boards, but I recently had my eye on the Mexican Ouija board. It's very intriguing. What makes it different? Does it use, like, Spanish letters to like set it apart? Is the design different and interesting? Let's get past the sourdough bread with the mozzarella in it, because it does look kind of gross. Let's see. We got a Today I Learned post. Today I learned that legendary mountain man Jim Bridger loved telling tall tales. His favorite being the story about his pursuit by 100 warriors, ending in him being closed in at the end of a cannon. I mean, not a cannon, at the end of a canyon. At this point, he would stop, and when inevitably asked what happened next, he would reply, "They killed me." So he just reveals at the end of the story that it is indeed a lie. That's interesting. Tangent said, "My grandma's cool with it as long as I don't cuss a lot." And then he said, "Cool." "Cool, dude. The Canadian one, not have ghost." Are you implying that, like, the Canadian Ouija board, like, doesn't have ghosts? That'd be interesting. Tangent Bell said, "My dad is very against cursing, but it's like his native language, so he curses a lot." That's probably why he doesn't want you to curse. I feel like my mom's like that. Like, my mom curses, but she doesn't want to curse as much as she does, and she doesn't want us to curse because she doesn't want us to curse as much as, like, she has. Tangent Bell said, "Link to the store. Honey Shark." Yo, I got you. Link to the store. Honey shark. Honey shark. Do do do. Banana. Do 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 do. So let's see. I'm going to click on one of the Honey Shark shirts, and then from there, I'm going to go to the Honey Shark storefront and then post it in the live chat. Also, I'm glad to see that you guys are hype to check out some of the different things that I'm doing online that are like other than YouTube. Oh, I also have a Patreon, by the way. The Patreon, I think, only has one backer right now. I've only received one email that I've seen that are like, "Hey, you got a backer," and it's my dad. My dad pays me $1 a month to do my YouTube stuff. If you do back me on Patreon, you get a benefit. When you do fan polls on Thursdays specifically, your votes count as an override over everyone else's vote if you're a Patreon voter, specifically on Thursdays for fan polls. So if everyone who's not a Patreon supporter voted for, like, do a Reddit video, but you're like, "I want to see Yu-Gi-Oh! Today," and you're a Patreon supporter, and you're like the only Patreon supporter who voted, you can just vote for, like, "I want to see Yu-Gi-Oh!" and you would just win. You would just win. I'd be like, "Sorry, he, like, actually pays me money to do this, so I'm gonna do it." So that's the way that works. Tangent Bell said, "I don't have a Kindle. Sorry about that." He said, "I wish I had Kindle." He said, "I'm cool if it's short." Oh, that's awesome. Also, when it comes to not having a Kindle, I used to have a Kindle Fire, and then it broke. I, like, dropped it on the ground while giving a friend a fist bump. I had, like, food or a drink in one hand, and I had my Kindle Fire in the other listening to music. And my friend Pierre came up, and he wanted to do a handshake. So me, acting like I'm in a movie, like, kind of toss up the Kindle Fire to go into the handshake to then catch and then I don't catch it and it hits the ground. Like, I tried my best to be cool, and it wasn't. That Kindle Fire got fucked. But I do still have access to Kindle. There's a Kindle app that you can get in the Google Play Store. So if you have, like, a phone that has, like, the Google Play Store on it, and the Kindle app's probably also for iOS, you get that app and you can use your phone or, like, a tablet as if it was a Kindle. And then you can buy Kindle books through the Kindle app and read them on your phone or your tablet wherever you go. So that's how that works. So if you don't have a Kindle, you can still read and buy Kindle books. You just would have to read them on your phone or your tablet. I have a Chromebook where I have the Kindle app on my Chromebook, so I can also read them on my laptop. Let's see. Oh, but no problem, Tangent Bell. No problem at all. Mr. 46K said the Mexican Ouija board is similar to the regular, but it does not involve more Spanish than English, and the demons you contact are far more ferocious and darker. Trust me. Interesting. What have your experiences with Ouija boards been like? Like, you using them? Do you mainly collect them, like, just to, like, have them? Or do you collect them and you use them? And when you use them, what is the experience like? I've personally never really dabbled in Ouija boards. Tangent Bell said, "Sorry, but could you link up to your store? I don't know exactly how to find yours." Oh, what happens when you go to Zazzle.com/honeyshark? Does it take you directly to Honeyshark? Or does it take you to the Zazzle link? Because the one that I posted is straight up like my store, like that link directly. And then Mr. 46K said, cool kids. So this is the Zazzle store. Let me click that link and see where it takes you. Yeah, that link that I just posted takes you directly to the Honey Shark page. Or at least it does for me. I don't know what it does for you guys. But if it takes you anywhere that's not the Honey Shark page, feel free to tell me, and I'd be more than happy to fix that up. I think my favorite item on the Honey Shark store is probably the, I have like a Atom shirt that has like a atom on the chest, but it's like multiple different rainbow colors. It's so simple, but I would love to have it. A lot of my products that I sell online that are physical products, I just don't actually own in real life. So whenever someone buys one, I'm like, oh, that's really cool. Like someone like owns something that I've made that I've like never physically seen before. Tangent Bell said, cool kids, and he posted like a nerdy emoji. Mr. 46K said, Zazzle sounds hilarious. So my Zazzle store stuff is all just like random shirts I've designed. I'm so upset that they don't let you design shoes anymore. I designed so many fucking shoes on Zazzle. I've never even been into shoe design before, but when I learned that I could design shoes on Zazzle and sell them, I went ham on trying to sell and like make shoes. Not necessarily trying to sell, but make shoes. I was really vibing with that. There's just something really fun about it. Oh, but jumping back into Reddit, dun 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 dun. So r/Super Sentai. So Super Sentai is Power Rangers in Japan. So in America, we take Super Sentai footage and we edit it in with American footage and we redub it in English, but we change the story completely. We kind of turn it into like a weird superhero sitcom, where in Japan, it's like a rather serious superhero show. And it has like darker like tones to the stories, and people can like die and shit in it. Like Super Sentai is a lot darker in Japan and then gets lightened up in America as Power Rangers. So I follow r/Super Sentai. And I keep up with the news a little bit on what's going on with it. I don't stay with it too much. I always fall behind on the seasons because you have to watch them with subtitles. Tangent Bell said, I'll look at Zazzle later, but when I click the link, all those items are by you? Yeah. So if you see at the top of it where it says Honey Shark, that's me. That's my brand. And I have a specific collection that's like the Honey Shark collection. That's like the first collection I made. And my whole thing about Honey Shark was that I wanted to make a bunch of shirts and items that just had images of sharks and honey directly related to each other. So you have images of like sharks on a honeycomb, and that's about it. And I just put that on everything. So it's on hats, it's on t-shirts, it's on hoodies. I don't know why, but I just thought it was a cool design to have a shark on honeycomb. So I was like, fuck it. Sharks on honeycomb all day. And that's where the Honey Shark store came from. Tangent Bell said, hey, if I can support the greatest creator on YouTube, I'll help with Patreon. Oh, wait, no. He said, if I can help the greatest creator on YouTube, I'll help. With Patreon, though, I can't, though, because I have to use my grandma's account, and she doesn't do Patreon. Oh, nothing wrong with that. I totally understand. Let's see. Tangent said, I had a Kindle, too, but it was dropped off a roof. What's up with Kindles and falling on the ground? Seems like it's just a common problem. But I feel your pain. I feel like yours was less your fault, it falling off the roof. I feel like if I legitimately didn't try to, like, high-five your boy, Pierre, plus it was a fist bump, and I changed it to a high-five, so I, like, throw the tablet, I pretend like I'm going in for a fist bump, catch the fist, try to catch the tablet just gets dicked. I don't like this image of a dragon. I really don't like the spikes in its back. It looks gross. I imagine if I had that on my body, I'd be like, ah! So I just wouldn't be able to deal. r/accidental renaissance is really interesting. It's people who took pictures that happened to look like Renaissance paintings, but they didn't intentionally make it look like a Renaissance painting. This picture somewhat looks like The Last Supper, like that kind of thing. But to me, I've seen better. I've seen better on here. r/crystals, people just share their crystal collections and they ask, what kind of crystal is this? More or less is what they do. Mr. 46K said, my experience is never trust the contacted, no matter how not evil they may seem right now. He said, I currently have a spirit who gained control on all 7 of my Ouija boards. He won't let me speak to anyone else. Interesting. Tell me more about the spirit who's hijacked your Ouija boards. Why? Why is it that they won't let you speak to anyone else? And his name is unspeakable. Oh, interesting. So it's an unspeakable demon who's hijacked your Ouija boards and won't let you talk to anyone else. What does it like to talk about, the unspeakable demon? I guess he, because we know it's a guy. Also, this anime sketch is actually pretty good. I'm never a big fan of, like, things with guns. So the gun is the thing that I don't like about it. But I dig the jacket with all the pouches and belts and stuff like that. Mr. 46K said, I can't give you that info, sorry. His name is just, okay, understandable. If it's something that you're unable to share, I totally get that. r/Yu-Gi-Oh! My wife was cleaning my desk and sent this to me. Uh-oh. What'd they send him? Is it like an old Yu-Gi-Oh card? And then it said, because I'm a fucking weeb, I colored all my own cards by myself with the rose art crayons my mom bought me. So it's like, what makes your deck unique? Gudum. She doesn't approve of my Yu-Gi-Oh antics, but I still love her. That's actually pretty cute. My wife prefers Magic the Gathering over Yu-Gi-Oh. Miss me with that Magic the Gathering. I'm not a big fan of technology pictures, but I do like seeing r/imaginary technology. Sometimes they go above and beyond with just giving like some crazy shit. Tangent Bell said, I keep pausing to look at Zazzle. I didn't realize that Honey Shark was your account. Yeah. There are a whole bunch of shoes on there. Zazzle stuff is overpriced, by the way. Just want to let you know. The way that Zazzle works is you pick the item, you put the design on it, and then Zazzle says, bare minimum, it's overpriced. So that's more or less how it ends up being. So a lot of the Zazzle stuff, I think, costs way more than it needs to. And it's a similar thing to the books where they're like royalties, where I don't get the full payment back. Like if you spend like $18 on a shirt, I don't make $18. I make like a fraction of the $18. And Zazzle takes like a cut. Tangent Bell said, so I just downloaded Kindle on my phone, and it puts it on my phone. And then he said, because since it's my grandma's account, it may be on her phone. Oh, I see what you mean. You would have to have the Kindle app on your phone be connected to your grandma's account for you to buy a Kindle book on your grandma's account, and then it be on your Kindle. The only other way I could see it is if you had an Amazon account, and then you either bought it on your own Amazon account, or you bought it on your grandma's account, but you did the give a gift thing that you can do on Amazon. So you buy a Kindle book, but you're like, but it's a gift for my account. But that sounds kind of complicated to do. So I understand if you don't want to do that, because that does seem like the extra mile just to get a book that you can already just get as paperback. Let's see. Tangent Bell says, it takes you go Honey Shark. Sorry, text is delayed. I'll be right back. No problem, Tangent Bell. Mr. 46K said, well, I haven't used them lately for that particular reason, but it usually gives me intel of what's going to happen. And it usually does. He's very hostile and won't go away. So he, like, warns you of something that's going to happen in the future, but he's really angry, and he doesn't want you to talk to other people. That's interesting. Is it, like, really important stuff? I understand if you can't disclose what the important stuff is. But is it stuff where you're like, I'm really glad I knew that? And do you think he hijacks your board because he's like, you need to know this stuff from the future, because if you weren't aware, then you could just, like, get cucked in the future? It would also be interesting if it was like a ghost from the future. Like instead of a ghost that like knows the future, it's like someone who either is alive in the future and projecting themselves backwards, or someone who died in the future but they're stuck in the past. I don't know. Mr. 46K said it just talks about things that it did and what it will do when he escapes. Escapes? That's an interesting concept. How does it plan to escape, I'd wonder? when Netflix cancels your show and then release a movie where being blind is the key to survival? Rip Daredevil. Good. Let's see. Master Investor. When you have Meme Exchange installed on your phone, you know I'm something of an investor myself. I do like the meme economy. So one thing that I think is interesting about the meme economy is people will post up like meme formats. And a meme format is like a meme, but you strip it of the joke, if that makes sense. So a lot of memes have like pictures, and then on the picture you like put words, and the words are what turn that picture into like a funny meme, into like a joke. So for the meme economy, they'll post the picture and they'll be like, what do you think is the potential for this picture to be used as memes? And then people will invest in memes and say whether or not you should like invest more in it or not invest in it. Let's see. Tangent Bell said on Zazzle, it says use the code AIDKF for 25% off. Is the price it shows with the code or without it? I'm not sure actually, because I've never bought anything on Zazzle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the Honey Shark hoodie. So I'm going to click on that. And then it said, sorry, this color and print process is temporarily sold out. Please select another style. No, because I thought the hoodie looked really good. Okay, so not going to click on the hoodie then. I'm going to click on the basic Honey Shark t-shirt. Okay, I see it. It says $17.95 per shirt. And then I want to find the part where it goes if you use this code and then see if it discounts it. Last day, 25% off site-wide. Use code, and I have a different code on mine. And then it says details, so I'm going to click it. Limited time offer. Enter the code at checkout in the promo code / gift card box. A discount of 25% off the product net sale price shall apply when one or more qualifying products are purchased. Enter the code in the promo code checkbox. Apply for offer, reflect discount on each product page where you see the relevant discount percentage. This offer only applies to qualifying products sold by Zazzle. It seems like the 25% off would be after you added it to your cart, because it seems like at checkout you put in the code. I may be wrong though. So definitely double check on that. Don't assume, because I don't want you to accidentally think it's cheaper than it really is. So look out for that, most def. Tangent Bell said, because I may buy a hat or a shirt. Oh, ballin'. Thank you kindly. I appreciate that. Tangent Bell said, by the way, that's a random code. Yeah, I noticed that my code seems different from the code that you posted. Did you like post random letters, or did you just happen to get a different code? I was thinking, is it really random? Because that'd be crazy. Let's see. Mr. 46K says, sorry, lol. That word is outrageous to me. Kind of makes me feel better. Zazzle. Like it just makes you like feel fun. I see what you mean. It is a fun word. It makes me think of pizzazz. It's like pizzazzle. Let's see. Tangent Bell said, with Zazzle, you get all the money, right? No. So the best option for directly funding me with money is Patreon, but I understand that you're not able to do Patreon. The second best option for getting money to me is to buy an ebook. The ebooks, I get a higher royalty than on a paperback book. And then I'd say that Honey Shark has a pretty generous royalty. So I think Honey Shark stuff and the ebooks are probably neck and neck with royalty amounts. And then paperback books, I get a royalty, but it's really small. That and Fiverr. Actually, Fiverr and Patreon are the best ones, because with Fiverr, I would straight up like provide a product or service. Like I cast magic spells, I write superhero stories, I write raps for people on Fiverr, and then you pay me and I give you the rap, and then you can do whatever you want with the rap or with the superhero story or with the magic spell. With the magic spells, I break curses, I do luck spells and stuff like that. So Fiverr and Patreon are actually the best ways to support me directly, because I get that money. Fiverr takes $1 off for every like $5 I make. So if I make $10, I really make $8. Like that's how Fiverr does it. But that's fine. You still get like a heavy percentage of the money. I wish all these other things I like made all of it but $1. That'd be great. But yeah, Patreon and Fiverr are the easiest ways to support me. If you like buy a superhero story, not only do you get a superhero story out of it, but you also help support me. So I feel like Fiverr is probably the best way to hit me up. Let's see. Mr. 46K said, "Damn, I bet you're hungry, bro. If you want to end the live stream at any moment, I understand." I'm probably going to end the stream when my battery gets drained. My phone is at 28%. So once my phone hits about like 20%, I'll end the stream and put it on the charger. But until then, I'm good. Let's see. Tangent Bell 98 said, "My dad took it up to look up some fizzing he was doing for gutters, and it fell." Oh, so your dad took the Kindle to fix the gutters, but he was on the roof and he dropped the Kindle and it fell and it broke. I could see that happening. Tangent said, "I'm cool like you for if I just want to make sure he reads all these." True. Don't worry, I try to read as much live chat stuff as possible. Real quick, I'll send you guys the Fiverr link, because I do think Fiverr, if you guys are unable to do Patreon, is probably like the next best thing for like supporting me directly. And it gives you guys something. If you guys really like my rap content and you want me to write a rap for you, I can do that. If you like my superhero story content, like you're into the books I write, but you want like a story made specifically for you that I sell directly to you, you can hit me up for that. And if you want like magical assistance, I do that as well. So I'll post my Fiverr link into the live chat as well, because I just give a lot of services through that. So that's just another way that you can help support the channel. I've never done this much plugging for my channel before. Let's see. I was worried about my cat because it was like -12 Celsius outside. That sounds horrible. So I texted my dad to ask where she was. And and he sent me this picture. And it's just in a blanket inside the house. Tangent said, "I want to buy like a $15 hat." Oh, okay, ballin'. I see that. I appreciate it. I'm glad to see someone really digging the Honey Shark merch. I don't really advertise the Zazzle store a lot, so I think I've only sold 1 or 2 things max on Zazzle, and it's from people like stumbling upon Zazzle. I made a Honey Shark like Facebook page, and I tried to really like push Honey Shark there, but it just didn't gain traction. Page got a lot of likes, but we didn't get a lot of sales. Let's see. I like this Rate My Gaming setup. So they're playing Bejeweled on an airplane. I'm curious if I would get motion sick playing Bejeweled or not. I used to go hard on Bejeweled when I was like younger in college. Whoa, my voice is starting to echo a lot more. I used to go hard on Bejeweled when I was younger in college. I had it like on my phone. I was just fucking it up. I really liked it. I went even harder on Bejeweled before college. I used to do it on my computer all the time and play Bejeweled. I still have Bejeweled on my phone, I think. And I've done Bejeweled live streams in the past, but I don't think people care about Bejeweled for real, which is why I don't really do Bejeweled live streams anymore. But I used to really fuck with that. Match 3 games used to be my jam. It's a nice way to like decompress. Me logs into Gmail on another device. Google security. Oh my goodness, Google security is really good about that. If I log into the same computer every day at school, the first time I log on, Google security will be like, yo, what are you doing? This isn't your normal computer. But even if like a student takes that computer, they're like, "Oh, sorry, I have to sit here today for whatever reason," and I sit in the computer right next to it and log in, Google's like, "Whoa, what are you doing? Why this isn't the right computer?" And I'm like, "It's the same network. I don't what's going on?" Tangent said, "Does Zazzle tell you how much shipping is?" I think once you get to like checkout, it'll give you your total before you actually like put in your information. It should at the very least. I think any website that doesn't tell you what the total is before you pay is gypping you. So if Zazzle doesn't show you shipping, I wouldn't buy. So definitely make sure that Zazzle shows you how much shipping is and how much the product is and everything beforehand, before you like put in any payment information. Tangent said, "Oh well, then most likely I will do the books on Kindle or my phone after my birthday when I get my own account, or buy the books then." Yeah, either way works. I'm excited to hear what you guys' thoughts are on the books. So even if you get a paperback book and I get a smaller royalty, I still am more interested in like, how would you review the books? Did you like the stories? A lot of my books that are like older are of course like older work. So I'd love to see how you guys thought about my old stuff and then see what you thought about like some of my newer stuff over time. Let's see, Tangent Bell said, "This is the most interesting comment section anywhere. I do really like how hype and how active the live chat is." Mr. 46K said, "What do you feel is more effective, boxing or MMA? In a fight, like in real life, which is more effective? I'd say MMA. I only say MMA because MMA could have elements of boxing in it. MMA feels adaptive. If I was in a real fight and I had to either be like a pro boxer or a pro MMA fighter in the moment, I'd prefer to be pro MMA. I feel like I'd be able to, on my toes, use multiple forms of martial arts in order to try and like get an advantage over my opponent. Being really good at boxing is good, but I feel like it limits you in certain ways. Where with MMA, you kind of are a jack of all trades, even if you're not the best at one particular thing." Let's see, Mr. 46K said, "All I can say is don't believe the bogus ass karate." To me, it depends on who the person is, whether or not they have like really good martial arts skills. My wife used to be third in the world in martial arts until she ended up in a. She's had several things that have happened to her, but her hip isn't as good as it used to be. But just imagine if she was like still kicking ass to this day. I'd be married to potentially the third in the world in martial arts still. That would be pretty cool. Let's see. Tangent Bell said boxing, and then Mr. 46K said agreed with the boxing. I don't think I could vibe with the boxing. I feel like boxing is really good. I'm not saying that boxing is bad, but if I had like a good combination of different martial arts that I used well and knew how to use, then I just feel like I'd have more advantages. Boxing is good. Nothing wrong with boxing. But I feel like MMA is just more flexible. Let's see. Tangent Bell said, "I'm going to buy a white t-shirt for $15. He said, "Do you get all of the money?" No, I don't get all of the money. So the way that Zazzle works is that I get a royalty. Now the royalties for Zazzle, for like the stuff that you guys buy, are probably about the same as buying an ebook. So if you buy something off Zazzle, I will get some of the money, but not all. I get a percentage of the money, and then Zazzle takes the rest of the cut. Like I said, the best ways to get money like directly to me, Patreon or Fiverr. Then after that, it would be ebook or Zazzle, and then after that, it would be paperback book. Paperback book is like bottom of the barrel. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, and if we get enough watch hours, then I should be able to have monetized YouTube content. And then you'll be able to help out the channel just by watching ads on the videos, which would be ballin', hey, do. So Tangent Bell said, "Cool. So now just shipping, and I'll double check. It says only till tomorrow, so I'll check then." And then he said, "I posted random letters." Oh, okay, solid. R/Malafor. So R/Malafor is essentially like a metaphor, kind of thing. So think about like common sayings that people say, like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, or you can give a man a fish, feed him for a day, teach a man to fish, feed him for a lifetime. And then a malaphor is taking like two of those sayings, or more than two of them, and combining them, but not on purpose. People say malaphors all the time. They'll be like, 2 in the hand is worth 3 in the horse, which doesn't make any sense. They'll like misinterpret how malaphors, how the sayings go, and they'll just fuck them up. So this one is like pulling a tooth through the eye of a needle. I don't even know what those two sayings are that they put together. Like malaphors can just be pretty bad. Tangent said, "If I'm able to get my own Amazon, I'll try to do the ebook." Okay. Ballin'. Thank you kindly, Tangent Bell. Truly appreciate it. Phone's on 25%, so we still have 5% more. Da-da-da-da. Let's see. Me, my shitty font choice, success of this meme. Hey, I got 76 upvotes. Not doing bad at all. Let's see. Mr. 46K said, "We on our vampire shit. Who needs sleep, right?" I will, and well, not even. Like even after the stream, I still gotta exercise. and then after I exercise, I gotta eat, and then after that, I can catch some Z's. Hey, some Dragon Ball Z's. Hey. Let's see. Tangent Bell said Fiverr, and then he says it's $2.19 currently. For me, it's $3.19 at the moment. Rip sleep. So Tangent Bell asked about Fiverr. So Fiverr is a web page where I sell magic spells, superhero stories, and original raps. So if you guys want to buy a rap from me, like I'd write a rap for you, or buy a superhero story from me, I'd write a superhero story for you. Or if you need a spell casted, like a good luck spell or a spell to like break a curse, I could cast a spell for you. I do all that on Fiverr, and the amount of money I get from Fiverr is pretty good because it's essentially for every $5 I get paid, Fiverr takes $1. So if you buy something from me on Fiverr for $5, I make $4. If you buy something for $10, I make $8. So it's a pretty simple system. So that's why I really vibe with Fiverr. Hey, because not only do you give me money, but you get something in return, and you get something custom. You know, if I write a rap for you, you can like elaborate on the kind of rap that you want. If you have like a curse for me to break, then I'll like break a curse that's like currently cast upon you. If you want a cool superhero story and you have an idea for a superhero, but you don't want to write the story yourself, I can be the man to write that story. And that's what Fiverr's for. And it's a good way to support the content, support the channel, and also get something custom just for you. So yeah, Fiverr. Feel free to check that out. Let's see. Big shout out to Amazon for taking a pic of my package delivery mid-throw. Delivered. And it's just like in the air going to the door. Goodum. Tell us what you think about this photo. Delivery by Amazon. Savage. Mr. Forces K was like, Zazzle. Oh, r/surreal memes is hard to understand. So, r/surreal memes has like a certain set of rules for the memes. And it's hard to find surreal memes that actually fit within the rule set. But if one were to, I feel like it would be really compelling. But this one is called He Will Take Your Hair. And it's Scroncho says, every second you're not running, I'm only getting closer. Surreal memes normally have like a weird creepy vibe to them. Real quick, we're going to visit that subreddit just so that we can look at the rules. Excuse me, I'm sorry. So let's see, Mr. Forces K said, I'd really like to get my YouTube channel content up as well. Any tips? Yo, tips for YouTube. I'm down for that. Number 1, post daily. Try and have a video every day, at least one. Number 2, if you're going to do live content, you got to interact with the live chat. Interacting with the live chat is really important. Number 3, live streaming with YouTube is just really easy. You pull out your phone with the YouTube app, you click the upload button, you click live, and then you just start fucking filming. It's great. The reason why live video is so good is because you can directly interact with your audience and you don't have to worry about editing. This is the best of both worlds. I'm not editing any of this. What? It's great. So I'd say make live content. Definitely interact with your viewers. Also interact with them in the comment section. Gotta hit up that comment section. It's almost as important as the live chat. I feel like the live chat's more important because they're right there actively watching your content. But even if they missed it or have more stuff to say afterwards, hit those comment sections up. Collab with other YouTubers. If you can find a YouTuber that you like and you guys can somehow work together on a video or shout each other out on content, definitely do that. I personally don't do that a lot, do collaborations, but I'm open to it. A lot of subscribers to this channel have hit up Winslow's channels for Winslow and Empire of Eternia, so I've directly seen what it's like for someone to benefit from doing collabs. So definitely invest in collabs. If you can find YouTubers who want to work with you on stuff, maybe do like a live discussion video or something like that, hit that up. Collabs are good. It's a way for you to cross promote. It's like an advertisement almost. Let's see. So Tangent Bell said, so if I buy $15 on Zazzle, how much do you get? I was also wanting to do a Fiverr, like a $10 one, but how do I tell you it's me, Tangent Bell? So on Fiverr, when you order a gig, you can like message me like on Fiverr. So when you order the gig, it'll ask you like what are the requirements. Like if you ask for like a magic spell, it may ask you like what exactly are you looking for like from the spell. Or if you ask for a superhero story, it's like, well, do you have any ideas for a story already? Or if you ask for a rap, it's like, well, what do you want the rap to be about? And in that, you can be like, hey, I'm Tangent Bell, I'm trying to help out. Make the rap about da na na na, or make the superhero story about da na na na, or I want a good luck spell. By the way, I'm Tangent Bell, like that. So that'd be the way for it to work. Let's see. And in terms of how much do I get from you spending $15 on Zazzle, I don't remember the royalty amount. I remember it was good. Like, I don't think I'm making, like, just bare cents. Like, I think if you spend $15, I'm making at least $1 off of it, which is not bad, believe it or not. Because royalties can sometimes just be really shit. But for you to pay 15 and for me to get 1 isn't terrible. But I think I make more than that. I think if you spend $15, maybe I make like $3? Maybe? Like I said, people haven't bought a lot of stuff off Zazzle, so I'm just not really aware of like how to tell you how much money I get. Because I've only gotten money from Zazzle once or twice at most. I know I've gotten money from Zazzle at least once. Let's see. Mr. 46K said, I'd really like to get ads for my content. Okay. So I used to get ads all the time before YouTube fucked around and like changed the system. Now to get ads, you need 1,000 subscribers and like 20,000 hours of watch time within the last 12 months. So you need people like watching hella long content. Like this 2-hour stream with you guys watching really helps me build my hours up to like get where I currently am. So that's really helpful. And then of course I have to hit 1,000 subscribers. So even if I already had the number of hours that I needed, I would still need to then have the number of subscribers. I think I'm short on hours and I'm short on subscribers, and I think I'm closer with subscribers than I am with hours. So it all varies. It depends. So let's see. So Tangent Bell is talking about sub for sub. Be careful with sub for sub. So there's a notification that comes on my YouTube dashboard that says between this date in December and this date in December, your subscriber count might decline. This hasn't happened to me because I don't use sub for sub. It's just a notification that I imagine were put on a lot of YouTubers' pages. But they're claiming that people who did sub for sub, they're like gonna start removing subs from your channel. They're like, that's not how subscribing should work. Like YouTube is against the sub for sub system. So I highly recommend to not do sub for sub stuff because YouTube could go, oh, you did sub for sub, then that doesn't count, and they can just lower your subscriber count. I think it's really gross, but that's the current system. And I think they're trying to stop people mainly from using bots to sub for sub, but if they can rationalize that it was a sub for sub and they didn't just subscribe because they liked your content, they could just yank it. So that's why I'm doing my best to avoid that. Let's see. So where was I? So Tangent Bell said, hey Jet, I ran through the options. I chose the rap. How do I customize and tell you it's me? So if you choose to do the rap, right, then I've actually never ordered a gig on Fiverr. So I'm curious to see what it looks like to try and order a gig. Crap. It shows it from like the standpoint of me editing rather than the standpoint of you buying. But I think you like hit order, like you hit that you want to order it, and then from there it'll ask you, what do you want? At least that's what it feels like from my perspective, because whenever people order, I'll get a message that's like, hey, I'm looking for this, this, and that. So definitely, if you want to hit up a rap, feel free to do so. I'll even post the link specifically to buying raps in the live chat. So let's see. So it looks like Mr. 46K and Tangent Bell sub to each other. Tangent Bell said you need to start linking your Fiverr, Zazzle, and Amazon in your descriptions. I agree. I feel like if I put them in my YouTube descriptions, it would make it easier for people to be able to support the channel. I feel like there would be so many links, though. It would feel like I'm kind of shoving it down your throat, you know what I mean? I don't want to seem too overzealous but I do like to plug. That being said, I've made entire videos that are just like, buy my book. I think I made a Tekken 7 video where every time I won a fight, I would say, buy my book, and actively during fights, I would hit people and go, you didn't buy my book, that's why you're losing. Like, I would say shit like that. So, sometimes I'm like, I don't want to plug too much, and other times I'm like, I'll just go ham and plug. Tangent Bell said, oh, well, thanks. I don't upload, so I don't really expect anything. And then Mr. 46K said, fine with me. Tangent Bell said, cool, I'll order a few books, a hat, and a Fiverr thing for like $7. Oh, thank you kindly. I appreciate it. Then Tangent Bell said, after I read it, I'll review here, so it's immediate. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that as well. Tangent Bell said, yeah, 4. I didn't see it earlier, but yeah, Vampire Life, no sleep. Let's see. Tangent Bell said, so I'd better do the Fiverr thing for like 15? And then Tangent Bell said, because I want to get some stuff and totally get that monetization, man. I'm working toward it. I'm working toward trying to get monetized. If you do the $15 rap, which is the premium one, I will write an original 16-line rap for you with an additional 4 to 6 line hook with original lyrics, commercial use to where you're able to use it in your own stuff. Let's say you wanted to sell the rap for whatever reason. If you wanted to include it in like a book, if you wanted to use it and like monetize it in like a YouTube video, like perform my rap or whatever, you want to go for the premium one, most def. If you go for the $10 standard, it's the same thing, but you don't have commercial use, so you can't use it to make money. And then if you go for the basic, it's the same thing, but there's no hook. I don't give you a hook. I just write a 16-line rap for you, and there's no commercial use. On all of them, whether or not you do premium, standard, or basic, you can, for an addition of an extra $5, get it a day earlier. Normally it takes me about 2 days to write these raps. It doesn't actually take me 2 days. I give myself a 2-day buffer just in case I'm working on other stuff, whether it be school or other Fiverr projects, to make sure I have enough time to write the raps. A lot of the raps that I perform on the channel, it takes me less than an hour to write, perform, and record those raps. So just to write a rap, it would be even faster because then you don't have recording and uploading and everything being involved. So it doesn't take me much time at all to write the raps. It just depends on whatever else I'm doing. You'll probably get it same day, believe it or not, depending on what else I'm working on. Let's see. What else? I know there's more stuff you can get other than just the premium, standard, and basic, because I think there are gig extras, but I don't see where the gig extras are. So maybe that is all you can do. I could have sworn I had extras for this, though, where you could get extra bonuses. Maybe you only see those when you order? Shrug. I don't really know. Tangent Bell says it's 3:31 for him. It's 3:32 for me, so yeah, we're the same time zone. Tangent Bell said for when Nick said 3:19. Yo, is the delay on the stream so strong that it's like a difference between 3:31 and 3:19? Holy shit. Huh. Excuse me. That makes it seem like that by the time I would like finish this video, like by the time I like log out, you guys could like still actively be watching it. That's crazy amounts of lag. That's like super insane amounts of lag. Oh, by the way, surreal memes. I haven't gone over the rules yet. So the rules, I wanted the rules for how to make it surreal, not just the rules of the Reddit itself. I don't know. Time to leave this place and go look at something else, though. Okay, let's see. So, imaginary colorscapes. That is hella colorful. Tangent Bell said, if I got a rap, I'd make it like a rap on how awesome something is, or a superhero story. Yeah, I'm totally down with that. I've definitely done a whole bunch of raps for people in the past. Not necessarily on Fiverr. This would be the first Fiverr rap I've done. But I've done raps for people before where they just give me a topic and I just go with it. So feel free to just throw any topics you want at me. And I'd be more than happy to oblige you. Let's see. Then Mr. 46K said, that's good for you, actually. Are you talking about the strong delay is good for me? I'm not sure at what part you guys are hearing now. So now I'm a little confused. I'm like, woo. you guys are able to react to me pretty quickly. So I'm just surprised whenever I see the live chat messages and it's about like older stuff. I'm like, how? I was like, I said that forever ago. You know what I mean? But I think you guys are able to respond to me quickly. So I think you're hearing me in real time. But maybe the live chat just posts really late, like your responses to certain things. I don't know. I don't know. Ooh. So the Mandela effect is really interesting. Mr. 46K said the lag part, bro. Oh, so we're pretty good on lag. It's not as bad as I think. That's good to hear. So the Mandela effect is really interesting. Remember when we were talking about multiverses before? Tangent Bell said his Xbox gamer tag is also Tangent Bell 98. Sadly, I do not have an Xbox. I have a PS4. Now I do have an Xbox 360 at my mom's house, but my mom recently also bought a PS4, and she no longer has the Xbox 360 plugged in. Plus, I never had online on Xbox, so I never was able to do Xbox Live. Tangent said, I know, messages from 5 minutes ago are just now showing up. That's interesting. So the Mandela effect is really cool to talk about. My phone battery is at 16%. My screen at 15%. I'll have to, it hit 15% just as I said that. It's now at 15%. Real quick, I'll talk about the Mandela effect. Long story short, the Mandela effect talks about being in a different universe than you were originally born in. The concept is there's a whole bunch of people who remember significant points of history differently from other people, and there's a ton of people who'll be like, I swear that this happened, and everyone else is like, no, it really happened like this. And the people who swear it happened